We continue with our reaction to SONA. Excise relief is critical for the beer industry in particular. That's the view of the Beer Association of South Africa. The association wants Finance Minister Enoch to consider this in his next budget speech. The industry body says they will ensure future sustainability and profitability. For more on this, we're joined by the association CEO, Patricia Pillay. Patricia, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Now, as an industry, one would say you contribute significantly to the GDP, but have had many stop-starts since the pandemic. What did you make collectively of the President's address insofar as business is concerned, particularly because he has pushed the need for some sort of an easier way for people to do business?
I think we were really encouraged by the fact that he actually recognized business and the role that we play as business in terms of boosting this economy, and the fact that it is business that creates jobs. And as you've said, we've had, as an industry, been impacted greatly, especially our small businesses. And when you look at our craft businesses in particular, we employ a minimum of 10 people. So his references, for example, to the new industry in cannabis creating 300 jobs, and you look at how many jobs we've lost over the COVID period of more than 300, we really are encouraged now that it's been recognized that we need to be paid attention to as business.
Do you think perhaps there was a disconnect in society where there was an expectation that government would in fact be the highest employer? Whereas we heard the President stress, he belabored the point that what they're meant to do as government is to somehow facilitate job creation within the private sector. And we heard those numbers today. Clearly the private sector remains the biggest employer.
I think for us it's something that we've been trying to promote and encourage, is this exact notion that we need the support of government in order to thrive, that there needs to be a very strong collaboration with government in order for us to be able to be sustainable and in order for us to encourage investment into the country. And you'll recall as well in the early days of COVID, where SAB and Heineken actually had to divest in terms of their implants that they were meant to invest in. So it's really important that we get the support of government. And now that we've had this announcement from the President, we're hoping that all of government, the policy makers, etc., will give us that sign of consistency in terms of policies, that they will give us the security that we need in order to be able to trade as business.
I must say yours, again, has been a very difficult relationship with government since the pandemic, because in most cases we'd have the beer industry coming out to say that in most instances when there's going to be an announcement, perhaps to halt production or sale of alcohol, the industry would never be consulted. Do you somehow feel hopeful this time around that there will be greater consultation because there seems to be a recognition of your input or contribution as an industry?
I think the one thing that I can applaud us for is our resilience, and that we never lose hope. And we cannot lose hope because of the livelihoods that are at stake. And like I said, when we look at, for example, our craft brewers, these are the small startup companies that have seen an opportunity to service an industry. But as beer in particular, we pride ourselves on this association and this industry in terms of we look at responsible drinking, we look at drinking in moderation, we look at our low ABV drinks. And so for us, we really encourage this relationship with government where we say we are hearing you as well, government. We're looking at our responsible agenda as well. And that's why also when it comes to now the excise and when it comes to the announcement that's coming up, we also are very strong in saying, look at concessions for us. Please consider us once again, because we feel like in the past we've not been heard, we don't get relief, and we really are marginalized. So at least consider us in your announcements and give us some kind of relief now when you, Minister, announce in your budget speech.
All right. No, Patricia, thank you very much for your time. That's Patricia Pillay, CEO of the Beer Association.